Well, hello, my name's Mandy and my channel is Mandy Sorts It Out, and today I'm doing a video about making bread. The reason I started making bread was to make bread that didn't have any salt in it because I'm on a low salt diet. And I made wholemeal bread partially because I know that wholemeal bread doesn't rise as well as white bread. So the lack of salt shouldn't have as much impact as it would do on white bread, because I had read that you needed salt in white bread in order to control the yeast, which would otherwise rise far too fast and far too big. I don't know if that's actually true, but I have read that. So I started making wholemeal bread loaves, and the bread was really quite tasty, but very dense. You couldn't really make a sandwich with it. It was as stiff as a bit of cardboard, but it was very nice toast. And I Googled what to do to make it rise a bit more, and Google suggested more sugar and something called vital wheat gluten. So I tried more sugar, and that did help. The rise increased slightly, and the bread was slightly softer. And then I got some vital wheat gluten, and yeah, that made a huge difference. I'm going to show you a video of my first attempt cooking with vital wheat gluten. Google had said if I was using 500 grams of flour to use 18 to 25 grams of vital wheat gluten. So I went with 25 for my first go, and the rise was a little out of control. It was shocking to me how much the bread rose. I had also bought myself a brand new bread tin, which looked a bit small and turned out to be a bit small, but that's what I used to make the bread. And for my second rise, the bread seemed to be growing in front of my eyes. I seemed to be watching it rise. When I shaped it for the tins, while I was waiting for the oven to heat up, the bread was rising. It was a little bit terrifying, actually, because I just wanted to get it in the oven to cook it before it rose anymore. So I'll show you that video now. Oh my god, it's really grown. Okay, okay, yeah, that one's not as big. I think next time I'm gonna put more bread in that one than that one. I made sure they weighed the same, but I'm not gonna do that next time because that one's bigger and can cope with it better. That one is going over the side. Oh, okay, we need to get these in the oven. Well, that's bigger than my normal loaf, and that just makes me laugh. The overhang. If it wasn't a brand new pan, I would think I'd have really struggled to get that out. But anyway, let's cut it now. And I know you shouldn't cut it till it's cold, but I'm going to cut a slice. Well, that seemed much lighter on the inside, but we'll see how it is when it's cold. So this bread's much softer than normal. It's got a crunchy crust, but other than that, the centre's so much softer. I think I could make sandwiches with this bread, which is what I wanted, but I didn't actually expect it to happen. I'm a bit worried about cutting it because I only have this knife. Because it's softer, it's actually harder to cut, and this one is so tall, it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to try and cut it all up and get it frozen. So today I'm making 2 more loaves. It's the first time I've made bread since making those 2 loaves in the video. And I've used 18 grams of vital wheat gluten this time, and it is rising slower. This is a picture of the dough from the first lot of bread I made with the 25 grams of vital wheat gluten. It's the first rise and it's after an hour. And this is a photo of the second lot of dough I made with 18 grams of vital wheat gluten. And this is also the first rise after an hour. So it's not growing as fast, which is a little bit reassuring. But it'll be interesting to see how the second rise does and how it comes out, because the bread from the first lot of bread I made was absolutely delicious. It was so soft, great for sandwiches, and had risen so much. It was very much like shop bought bread, except much, much nicer. I think the investment in vital wheat gluten is absolutely justified. But we'll see how the second rise does. And I might come back and do a bit more video to plot in about that and put some photos in. Here's some more video about the second batch of bread.
Well, this is the bread. It's ready to go in the oven. I'm just heating the oven up. It's nowhere near as crazy as it was last time. They look quite good. For some reason that one hasn't, it's got a bit funny shaped at the back, but I'll just cook them and see how they turn out then. I nearly forgot to show you these cooked. I've cut them up, but they're still a little bit warm. But let me turn this light on. They're a nice texture actually, but they're not as soft as the ones that I just had, that I just made. But yeah, they're a nice texture. Will I be able to eat sandwiches? I think so. Still warm. So I'm just letting them cool down in tea towels until they're cold, and then I'll put them in the freezer and freezer bags.
So I've been eating the second batch of bread for about a week now, and I quite like it. It's soft enough to make a sandwich, but it's not as soft as the first batch of bread. So there is some firmness to the sandwich. Yeah, I'm going to try and make a third batch that has a little bit more vital wheat gluten in it and see if that can get some of the softness without the dough rising that fast and out of control like it did in the first rise. I usually do 2 hours for my first rise, and this one was ready in an hour. It was at the top of the bowl in an hour, and I was like, I've got to cook it now. Alternatively, I could just make one loaf, which is a little bit more expensive when you think of the electric to heat it and cook it in the oven. But that way, it's not going to rise over the bowl because it'll be a smaller amount of dough. So I'm just figuring out what I'm going to attempt for my third attempt now. But it does feel like I've got options and that I've got tools that I can use to make a softer loaf of bread. So it's exciting. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying these experiments in making wholemeal bread. Hello, Editor Mandy, just jumping in here because I realised I didn't tell you how much I paid for the vital wheat gluten. I bought mine from Amazon. You can get 2 kilogram bags of vital wheat gluten from Amazon for £15.99. That's £8 a kilo. Tesco shows it on their app. I haven't actually seen it in the stores, but they show it on their app. They sell Bob's Red Mill vital wheat gluten, and a 567 gram bag in Tesco will cost you £11.44. Well, at least it will at the Tesco that I've got as my local Tesco. And that's the equivalent of £19.10 per kilogram. So, as you can see, that's a significant increase in the cost at Tesco compared to Amazon. So I would suggest, if you want to make soft whole wheat bread, that you get some vital wheat gluten, but you get it from Amazon. Don't buy the stuff from Tesco. I mean, £11.44 compared to £15.99. Yes, you're paying slightly more, but you get a massive amount more. If you like making whole wheat bread, it will make it softer. If that's what you're after, you will like it, I think. Hope you enjoyed the video. I make videos on things I find interesting in my retired life. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video, and I hope you're keeping well. Bye.